Welcome to The Fight on Matrix Midwest with Randy Carricker and company.
Hi kids, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us. That is Andrew Rogers. I'm Randy Carricker, and coming up, the Billikens are capable of losing?
I think they're human.
A loss for the Billikens. Is Tiger going to make a comeback? And speaking of comebacks, I'm going to try to win the fight in this particular program. But we're going to get things started with our quick hits. And down in spring training, Cardinal slugger Ivan Herrera is still rehabbing from off-season elbow surgery, and he told our Tamar Scher there's some frustration there.
Super painful after I throw, so I can't recover well. But things are going really good in the off-season. I put a lot of work here in Jupiter, working out 9 to 12, and then working out in the afternoons. A lot of work. That was my focus, trying to be healthy for this year.
Did you have right now a timeline of where you want to start hitting milestones marks so that you're ready for season?
Yeah, for example, today I threw 100%, and I felt good, coming out well. So definitely throwing harder than last season, like 5 miles harder than I threw last year. So it's that first day throwing 100%, it feels really good. So, definitely a step in the right direction. Off-season started like right after I got surgery, so I've been trying to take advantage of these opportunities. That's what I've been doing my entire career. I play like that because I was getting the opportunities. Wilson got hurt. I'm playing every day. So, and am I gonna sit here and complain about my arm hurting? No, right? I'm gonna try to take care of whatever I can. Try to take advantage of the opportunities I was getting.
I love that. I love to hear the fact that he is going to be in there, and there he is after surgery. Now, a couple of things. Number one, he's frustrated because he's not going to be able to play in the WBC for Panama, and he wanted to because he gets to represent his country. But the other interesting thing about this is down in spring training, he has been working in the outfield and with a first baseman's mitt.
Yeah, I think he's very smart about his progress. I really want to commend Ivan Herrera for not trying to push it, because the worst thing you can do is set yourself back. Understanding that, yes, you want to play catcher, but the Cardinals have plenty of catchers to step in the meantime, and you'll still get your opportunity. They won't take that away from you, but it's smart right now to focus on what you are 100% healthy at versus then trying to push your arm if it's only 80, 90%.
Just give me the 30 home runs and I'm happy.
That's all. I'm right there with you. If you only decided to be a DH, I think the Cardinals could work with that.
SLU basketball, the winning streak was bound to end at some point, and it did. Rhode Island's Jonah Hinton hit 9 3-pointers, and the Billikens couldn't overcome his sharp shooting in an 81-76 loss that snapped their 18-game winning streak in Kingston, Rhode Island. So the Bills see their streak go by the boards, but is it a good thing for the balloon to pop and maybe reduce the pressure? I've always thought that it would be a good thing before the conference tournament for SLU to lose a game. And they've had trouble with these midweek road games, and this one they finally got beat. I don't know if it came back to bite them, but obviously they did lose the game. But I think Jonah Hinton was the key.
It's a reminder of the beauty of college basketball, that anyone can win on any given night. And I think what SLU fans should notice here, or at least take of note here, is once you make it into the tournament, because at this point, this loss doesn't affect you all too much. Even though VCU could share the A-10 title with you come Friday if they get the victory, SLU is still going to make the NCAA tournament. I'm totally confident in that. But you can take away things from this game. Josh Schertz said we've been playing with fire for weeks now. And what that kind of looks like is SLU's always been able to get over the hump. They always hit that one big shot. This game, they just didn't do that. They had the opportunity. 69-67, shot clock violation. 73-69, 2 offensive possessions. And then they had threes to win it in the end. Just couldn't hit the big shot. That just happens in basketball sometimes.
And obviously, they're going to be in the tournament. They can pretty much, well, you can't lose out. But they've got some big games coming up. They've got VCU coming up at home. They've got Dayton on the road. And then they get the A-10 tournament. So there's plenty of time for SLU to atone for the loss at Rhode Island. Former Mavericks owner Mark Cuban took to social media to say the NBA should embrace tanking. In fact, he believes fans don't care about wins or losses. He said on social media, quote, "Few can remember the score from the last game they saw or went to. They can't remember the dunks or the shots. What they remember is who they were with, their family, friends, a date. That's what makes the experience special. I think he needs to talk to the Cardinals, because I think people are caring about the Cardinals, and it's causing them to not show up.
Yeah, are they happy going into this year, Randy, that their team isn't going to be competitive? I think reluctantly Cardinals fans deep down understand. They just don't want to admit that. But let's be real here. Yes, I remember the people I went to the game with, of course. Sure. But I also remember the highlights before I remember the people. The last Cardinal game that I remember was at least opening day. I was with some great people, some friends of mine, but I also remember the Cardinals came away with a victory there, and the Cardinals looked pretty good to start last season. The game before that, Nolan Arenado had a chance to win the game for the Cardinals, but couldn't drive in the run at second base. Notice how I noticed details of that game. Fans do that, Mark.
Well, and here's the other thing. Did Mark Cuban not recognize when the fans of the Mavericks were chanting "Fire Nico" because their favorite basketball player got traded and it would give them less of a chance to win? They weren't doing that because they absolutely loved Luka Doncic. If he was not a great player who didn't help them win, they wouldn't have cared. So yes, there is the experience for fans, but ultimately fans buy tickets for the hope of winning.
If you were to say, when the team is completely out of it, when you know you have no chance of making the playoffs, to embrace tanking, that's a different story. But that's not what he's saying here. Like with the Blues, right? We talk about maybe embrace the tank, because it doesn't seem like the Blues have a chance to make the playoffs this season, and you want that number one pick. But he didn't do that. He called out wins and losses initially, and that's what the argument here is.
And said that people are there for the experience and to be with families and dates. No, people want to see their team win. Tiger Woods says his career isn't over, despite not playing since 2024 competitively. A comeback isn't.
Put that way. The disc replacement has been one thing. It's been a challenge. And now I entered a new decade. So that number is starting to sink in, and has thinking about the opportunity to be able to play, in a cart. So that's something that I've, as I said, I won't do out here on this tour because I don't believe in it. But on the Champions Tour, that's certainly maybe a certain opportunity.
Final thing with you in regards to your recovery, is the Masters off the table for you?
No.
Wouldn't elaborate. I'll tell you what, Tiger Woods is great TV, and if he shows up on the PGA Tour, it's going to be better than it would be if he wasn't there. There's no way that having Tiger Woods can be bad for golf or for Tiger Woods. Everybody wants to see Tiger Woods play, and if he's broken down, it is what it is, but he gave us so many thrills, and if he can give us one more opportunity to see him, then it's a good thing.
Tiger Woods already thinking about a comeback is a win for golf fans. And look, I understand sometimes the hardest part of greatness is knowing when to stop the story. But Tiger Woods, at least teasing the fact that he wants to come back, could miss the cut and wouldn't even make a dent on his resume. First off, there's a lot of already other dents on his resume, so at this point, who really cares? But golf fans would bet on a Tiger comeback versus not having him out there.
People said he should quit in 2018 and 19 before he played in the PGA Championship here and then won the Masters in 2019.
Yeah, I remember
would
that.
you really bet against Tiger Woods in a golf tournament?
Nope.
I don't think I would either. So I'm all on board with Tiger, and if he plays in the Masters, all the better. It increases my interest in the tournament.
Best case scenario, he plays well.
Yep. Canada at the Olympics, their hockey team has two players from the team with the second worst record in the league. There's Jordan Binnington, Colton Parayko, both playing for Team Canada, the most talented team in the world. They had to beat out really talented players to make that team. This is part of what tells us that the Blues have good players that aren't playing well. We had the discussion a couple of weeks ago about whether or not you'd be comfortable trading young Blues talent. It's not that these players aren't talented, they just aren't playing well, and they do need some reinforcements. But I'm not at all surprised that Binnington and Parayko are not only a part of, but a key part of Canada's team. And I'm telling you, if there's a one-goal game in the gold medal game and they're up by a 2-1 score, Colton Parayko is going to be on the ice.
And this is just a perfect example, like you said, of you can have talent, but that doesn't always translate to team chemistry. In 2019, the Blues had team chemistry. They had a lot of talent, but that also paired with team chemistry. The Blues are building back toward that. They just don't have that right now. But chemistry matters just as much as ability, and that's just the missing piece.
Yeah, and I would say that those two players are only a part of the process. Dalibor Dvorsky has been fantastic during these Olympics, and he's a really talented Blues player. Obviously, they've got other players that are capable of playing in the Olympics. So I think that the Blues are probably not really, even though they have the second worst record, I don't think they're the second worst team in the National Hockey League.
No, there are things about their game that just haven't gone right this year. The one piece being goaltending. Goaltending has not lived up to the standard as we've known it over the past couple of years. But we also need to see a true goal scorer back on the ice for this team. The Blues just don't have that guy right now, somebody that's putting up goal numbers in the 20s.
Yeah, it's a bad combo when you have bad goaltending and you've scored the fewest goals in the league. Yeah. That's not a good recipe for victory. Those are your quick hits here in the fight. And coming up, with City starting this weekend, our City SC analyst Jen Cease is going to join us after the fight here on Matrix Midwest.
Welcome to The Fight. In one corner, sitting by in the green room, we have Megamind, the Sultan of Smarts, Randy Carricker, everybody.
Hey, Andrew, one-game winning streak. One-game winning streak.
And how does that make you feel?
Great, really wonderful.
I'm sure you would rather that be a little bit more, maybe like a 2-game, maybe work toward that 19-game again. Yeah, that'll be nice, right?
This is good.
And we'll see if you can do that today against our challenger. He watches the fight on the regular. Max, how you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Randy, say hello.
Hello, how you doing? It's great to have you with us. Thanks for watching and thanks for playing today.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
All right, Randy, go away.
All right.
Put yourself in total isolation. He can't hear us now, Max. Just you and me. I want this for you, man. I want you to steal that belt away from Randy. You ready to play?
You know it.
Here we go. Question number 1. Which NFL team was the first to enter the playoffs as a wild card team and go on to win the Super Bowl? Was that the Oakland Raiders, the Philadelphia Eagles, or the Baltimore Ravens?
Let's go with the Ravens.
Question number 2. Which player hit for the cycle twice in 19 days in 2018, both times against the Cincinnati Reds? Was that player Chris Bryant, John Jaso, or Christian Yelich?
Let's go with Bryant.
Question number 3. After winning 5 Olympic gold medals, swimmer Johnny Weissmuller went on to appear in 12 movies starring as what iconic character? Was that character Tarzan, Hercules, or Robin Hood?
Tarzan.
And question number 4. Who was the first player to never play in the U.S. before being selected first overall in the NBA draft? Was that Goran Dragic, Yao Ming, or Andrea Bargnani?
Yao Ming.
And the tiebreaker, just in case, Max. Prior to these Olympic Games, how many countries have hosted the Winter Olympic Games? We're just going with the closest to number here.
Ooh. Closest to number of countries, I'll go with 450.
450. All right. Thank you, Max. Let's welcome Randy back in. Tyler will send a message to him. How are you feeling after you heard the questions? All right.
Good. They're good questions.
All right. I love that because I make the questions. Did you hear that, Randy?
Nice.
I just did, yeah.
Good questions. Okay, Max, you'll stay silent here. Randy, your turn to answer. Ready?
Ready.
Which NFL team was the first to enter the playoffs as a wild card team and go on to win the Super Bowl?
I believe that was the 1980 Raiders, quarterbacked by Jim Plunkett, and they beat Dick Vermeil's Philadelphia Eagles.
Question number 2. Which player hit for the cycle twice in 19 days in 2018, both times against the Cincinnati Reds?
2019. For some reason, Christian Yelich's name pops up. So I'm going to, just because that was the first one that popped into my mind, I will go with Yelich.
All righty. Question number 3. After winning 5 Olympic gold medals, swimmer Johnny Weissmuller went on to appear in 12 movies starring as what iconic character?
I think it was Tarzan. I'm going to go with Tarzan.
And question number 4. Who was the first player to never play in the United States before being selected first overall in the NBA draft?
I think I know the answer to this, but I'm just going to use the lifeline just in case.
All right, your options are Goran Dragic,
Not number 1 overall.
Yao Ming,
Was number 1 overall.
or Andrea Bargnani.
I'm going to go with Yao Ming.
And the tiebreaker, Randy, just in case, prior to these Olympic Games, how many countries have hosted the Winter Olympic Games?
I'll go with, hold on here. Let me just do a little math. I'm going to go back 60 years. So 10, 11, 12. I'll go with 11.
11. Thank you, Randy. All right, fellas, let's go back through the answers and see who our winner is today. By the way, for anybody at home that sees Max's screen moving up and down, he's not in England right now. He's not driving a car. He's in the passenger seat. We play this game safe, don't we, Max?
That's right.
All
Safety
right.
first, baby.
All right. All right. I just got to get that out there because I know there's some people at home that were probably like, what's going on? All right, let's go back through the answers, guys. Ready?
Yep.
Question number 1 was, which NFL team was the first to enter the playoffs as a wild card team and go on to win the Super Bowl? Max, you said the Baltimore Ravens. Randy, you said the Oakland Raiders.
It's actually the LA Raiders, I think.
Answer is the Raiders. Oakland, LA, same team. Randy got it right. He's up 1-0. Question number 2. Which player hit for the cycle twice in 19 days in 2018, both times against the Cincinnati Reds? That's how you narrow it down to the NL Central, right? Max went with Chris Bryant. Randy went with Christian Yelich. The answer is Christian Yelich. 2-0, Randy. But Max, still 2 questions left. You have a chance here.
Right.
After
Maybe.
winning.
We'll see.
Yep, absolutely. After winning 5 Olympic gold medals, swimmer Johnny Weissmuller went on to appear in 12 movies starring as what iconic character? You both said Tarzan. Unfortunately, Max, that is the correct answer. So both of you get a point, which means Randy goes up 3-1. You really don't have a chance as we go to question number 4, but we'll still go to it anyway. Who was the first player to never play in the United States before being selected first overall in the NBA draft? You both said Yao Ming. That is the correct answer. Randy gets all 4 questions right today.
Nice.
He keeps the belt, and just for fun, let's go through the tiebreaker. The question was, prior to these Olympic Games, how many countries have hosted the Winter Olympic Games? Randy said 11. Max, you said 450 countries? That would mean the Olympic Games have been around for a long time.
Shot in the dark.
Right?
Shot in the dark, baby.
The answer is 21. 21.
Okay.
So there you go. For everybody at home, if you were wondering, these games make it now 22. Randy, the big winner today here on The Fight. Max, any last words?
Oh, good chance. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it was so much fun playing with you today. Randy, any last words for Max?
Yeah, great job, Max. Thank you very much for playing. We appreciate it, and we hope you'll do it again sometime.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Max, thank you. Randy, great job as always. And that is The Fight.
And if you would like to participate in the fight, just go to matrixmidwest.com and fill out the form, and we'll get in touch with you. And hopefully you'll be able to play against me. We record usually on Tuesdays at about noon, and then obviously we air it on our Wednesday shows at 5 and 10 p.m. And you have a
keep
chance
that
to,
bad boy.
Yeah, when I win, I keep this.
And when you lose, you keep that.
Yeah,
Isn't that funny how that works?
That's right, I do. 450 countries. Wow.
Yeah, are there 450 countries in the world?
There are not. There are 197. All right, now it's time for our weekly visit with City SC radio analyst Jen Cease. She is a product of the Lindenwood University and a member of the Lindenwood Athletics Hall of Fame, and she's getting ready for the start of the City SC season Saturday at Energizer Park. There she is. Jen, how you doing?
It's already here, doing great. Just getting ready to do the home opener at 1:30 from Energizer Park. It is St. Louis City's game is the first game of the MLS regular season since it's the early game start time. We have the honor of welcoming in the MLS season and hopefully with a win against Charlotte.
Absolutely. And Jen, so much of this team is new sporting director, new head coach, a lot of new players. How refreshing and exciting is it around there?
You know, it almost feels like year one in a way, in terms of what are you going to see when you look on the field. It feels like year two, year three, we kind of thought we would know. Year two was pretty similar. Year three was very different under Olaf Melberg. But this one seems like one of those kind of combinations of what Johan Deme is going to try to do with the team versus what we're going to see on the pitch. So it seems really exciting. It seems like the energy is really fresh. We've had media day already by the time this Matrix Midwest airs, and it was really refreshing to see all the players chomping at the bit and really getting ready to go to get on that field and play a game.
Jen, from your experience, what's the timeline for a new team like this to truly hit its stride?
You know, I think honestly to expect five weeks of the preseason was very crucial. So it was really good that Deme was there for that. But I truly think for the team to gel and really work and do it at game speed with game scenarios, unlike just having the preseason where you're kind of working on things, I think it's going to take a few months. I really do. Johan Deme talked a little bit with us yesterday about how hopefully what it looks like on day one looks very different after 3 months, looks very different from the end of the year in terms of execution and consistency. So I think we're all going to see some of those glimpses at Energizer Park on Saturday, but really to get it consistently being done, I think it's going to take a few months at least.
And when you have that sort of a situation, it seems to me that you need your goalie to steal a few games, right, Jen? And Roman Berkey is back. Is he still a guy that can steal some games for City in these first couple of months?
Oh, he definitely is. Roman is back. He is in form. He visited with us as well and talked a little bit about how, he's really looking forward to the team creating and working with this new style. I will say I don't think it's going to be that different than year one in terms of looking for the press. We're going to find those moments, but I think we're going to find Roman Berkey being a lot more picky. If you remember, one of our favorite things for Roman to do is take that ball and send it up long to, it was Joao Klaus at one point in time. We're going to see him more picky with his moments. Johan Deme's structure and his style and his plan is much more intentional than what we've seen in the last couple of years to combine the pressing nature with a very smart defense. So I think we're going to find Roman picking his moments for those quick transitions and really working with that back line to build the field out from the back.
And speaking of Klaus, after his transfer, who's the guy that now has to take on a much bigger role?
As of this moment, unless I hear otherwise, it's Simon Betcher. Simon's looking to step into Klaus's role. He did talk about the fact that at Coachella, they had some coffee together. That's what those two like to do. They're very good friends. Wish Klaus the best, but wants to step into that striker role and make sure he can finish and create chances as consistently as possible. That's probably the area of growth I see for Simon in terms of work rate and trying to get things done for the team, always at 100%. But Simon Betcher's consistency in finishing is something that he needs to work on, and I know he has been doing so in preseason.
Jen, you mentioned how the team will look a little bit stylistically like it did in year one, but for somebody like me who's not educated in the technical aspects of the beautiful game, what will be different that I should look for?
Yeah, I think you're going to find, if you guys remember from the year one, under Bradley Carnell, City just went for it in terms of the press. So we pressed at all costs with very little intention on how you defend that. So sometimes when you create chaos, you become the victim of chaos. So Johan Deme is going to have a structure in place for defense for when those moments break down that we don't get what we want off the attack. And now the team has transitioned, the opponent has transitioned. You're going to find 2 and 3 men surrounding the ball. You're going to find a little bit more structure versus, and actually also a lot of guys getting back behind the ball. So we're not stuck with just one defender back or 2 defenders back. The whole team is going to work to come back. So I think you're going to find that, again, exciting to see the City attack look like it did in year one, but also from a soccer IQ standpoint, looking forward to see some of that intentional defense, that intentional work against the ball and structure if Johan Deme's system works the way it's supposed to.
We can sense your excitement, but how good does it feel to say that soccer is back?
I feel like sometimes soccer never leaves. It really is a 365-day sport. But in terms of the MLS season, it's absolutely exciting to have us back. And hopefully, I think the weather's going to be a little bit different than it is today. It's nicer in the middle of the week, but it's still going to be a really fun time. And we get to open it at Energizer Park. Very excited.
And Jen, you guys do such a great job at Odyssey of covering the team. Tell us about your coverage plans on Y98 and on KMOX.
Yeah, as of always, we have shows during the week on KMOX, and KMOX Sports Office covers City on a regular basis. On the Y98 side, that's where you're going to hear St. Louis City 30 minutes prior to pregame. Pregame starts at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So 30 minutes prior to kickoff, we start, and we have all kinds of great things from a player profile. By the way, that's Roman Berkey this week, as well as Coach's Corner with Yohan DeMay, to get a little bit more insight on what he's thinking exactly on game day.
And as you have live shows during the course of the season, we'll promote those as well. We're looking forward to hearing you on Saturday for St. Louis City and Charlotte in the opener. And have a great season, and we'll continue doing this just like we did last season.
Thanks, you guys. Talk next week.
Thanks, Jen. You're terrific. We appreciate it very much. That is Jen Cease, and you can hear her at 1 o'clock on Y98 Saturday before St. Louis City SC takes on Charlotte in the opener.
I'm so excited for it, and I'm also excited to hear the Hall of Famer, the Lindenwood Hall of Famer, that is, share all those stories. And most importantly, I'm just really wanting to see what this group kind of does early and often.
Yeah, me too. Coming up in the list, the best walk-off wins for us for the Cardinals. It's coming your way here in The Fight. Time for the list, and as we get ready for another Cardinal season, we bring back our best Cardinal walk-offs ever. And I will get things started with my number 3, Andrew. After being traded to Oakland at the 1990 trade deadline, Willie McGee bounced from the A's to the Giants to the Red Sox before re-signing with the Cardinals in 1996. Willie remained exceptionally popular as a bench guy. As a matter of fact, Whitey Herzog said he was the most popular Cardinal ever. And in 1997, in the home opener against Montreal, Willie came off the bench in the 9th inning of a 1-1 game facing Expos closer Huguet Urbina. Bob Carpenter and Ozzie Smith were at the mic.
We don't know how well Willie can run. Maybe he doesn't know either. But he's in there for that bat.
If he goes deep, won't have to run fast.
Willie with a high
Get out of here.
ball, deep right field. Santangelo
It's
goes
gone!
back.
Yes!
This ball is gone! Oh, man!
How great is that? Ozzie kind of calling it, right?
Right.
One of the all-time favorite players in St. Louis, providing one of the all-time great moments. The Cardinals in 1997 did not have a great year, but they got off to a great start with that home run and the win against Montreal.
So I was at spring training, and this would have been 2018, I believe. Willie walking down the right field line, stops and signs some autographs, talking to fans. Actually told this story to a fan because he asked, were you expecting fastball? Like when you hit that walk-off home run, were you expecting it a fastball? All knowing, right, that Willie's not a home run hitter. And he's like, oh, I was swinging out of my shoes. Like, he was like, I was expecting fastball, and I was ready to just get, put that ball over the wall.
If
and
you're
that's what he did.
coming off the bench in the 9th inning, why not?
And he's one of the nicest guys. And
so
the fact that he did stop to share a story like that, I know it's spring training and things are a little bit more lax, but the ability to just, stand there, talk to fans, really cool. And that just makes him, 100% of our favorite player off the field as much as it does on. All right, Randy, my number 3. It doesn't get any better than watching a playoff walk-off, right? And man, if there was only one that could be better than this one that we saw from Yadier Molina in 2019 against Atlanta. Let's recap.
11th on a ground ball. Tehran deals. Molina in the air, left field. Duvall's got a great arm, but that is deep. Wong ready to run. He tags. Here he comes. Duvall's throw, no chance. And the Cardinals have won Game 4.
Trailing 2-1 in the series. What we didn't show you was Yadi tying the game up in the 8th inning. Remember that 63-mile-per-hour blooper over the glove of Freddie Freeman? Then Yadi delivers in the biggest moment to extend the series to 5 games. And that Game 5 didn't go well for the Atlanta Braves.
No.
They lost 13-1, and the Cardinals scored 10 runs in the first inning, and that was in Atlanta. What a stress-free night after feeling overly anxious the night before.
Should Should have taken Jack Flaherty out before he ever threw a pitch.
Shouldn't have started, right? Should have been a bullpen game.
Yeah, really. They probably would have lost, though.
Yeah.
So that was all right.
The
all right.
comeback.
My number 2, Andrew, is Easter weekend of 1987. The Cardinals handed out seat cushions on Saturday night for a game against the hated New York Mets that went to extra innings. Each team scores a run in the 10th, and the Cardinals had the bases loaded when this happened. Tom Herr, who just didn't hit home runs, hit a game-winning grand slam off of Mets closer Jesse Orosco that sent the crowd into a cushion-throwing frenzy. 12-8 was the final, one of the extremely memorable walk-offs ever. And you'll see there's one of the, there they are. It's seat cushion night at the ballpark, and people are celebrating a win over the Mets, but a walk-off win and a walk-off grand slam over the Mets by Tom Herr. That was one of the fun nights ever.
Like a high school senior tossing the graduation cap, right? I don't care where
Tommy
it lands.
threw one up in the air.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And what a memory for him, right? Like, it's one thing to hit a walk-off grand slam. It's another to recap the story and say, yeah, but how about like 2,000 seat cushions coming on the field? That's what was really cool.
And that rivalry was so great. The next day, Easter Sunday, the Mets catcher Barry Lyons was running for a foul ball into the Cardinal dugout. He ran into John Tudor and broke John Tudor's leg. And Tudor was out for most of the season, but the Cardinals built up a huge lead even without him and wound up going to the World Series and losing to Minnesota.
Did Tudor rise again, though?
He did. Yeah, very impressive.
A very Easter Sunday memory there.
Yeah.
All right. For my number 2, Randy, why not relive 2 walk-off ding-dongs against the same team? I think we all know there's players you just don't pitch to. One of them was Albert Pujols.
In the air to left center. Back at the wall. Pujols wins it.
That was home run number 1. And if that wasn't good enough.
That was Saturday.
Right? If that wasn't good enough here, we're going to look at what home run number 2 was here in a moment.
Yeah, the Cardinals win this, and the Cardinals really hadn't, they were rolling here. They went through a lull in midseason, but these were a couple of huge wins, and obviously this one was on Sunday afternoon late.
This ball hit deep to left. It's got a chance. To the track, to the wall. Albert does it again. Albert Pujols has beaten the Cubs back-to-back days. And this crowd is going crazy here at Busch Stadium.
Watch his reaction as he runs down the line. Talk about an iconic celebration. And I think if I were Albert, I'd react like that too.
Yeah, that was amazing. And the Saturday afternoon game, by the way, Matt Holliday was having a fundraiser for his foundation. It was a wine tasting fundraiser. And because the game went so long, it got pushed way back. But thankfully, Albert ended the game on Saturday. And then on Sunday, I mean, you never expect that he's going to do it again, right? And like you said, why are the Cubs pitching to him in that situation after what he did to them on Saturday?
And nobody was on base either night.
Yeah.
You just put him on first base. Just say I'm pitching to everybody else but that guy.
All right, I will give you my number 1. So let's set the stage for you. On October 14th, 1985, the Dodgers had won the first 2 games of the NLCS in LA, and the Cardinals came back to win the next 2, including Game 4 after Vince Coleman was run over by the tarp and knocked out for the postseason. Game 5, the Cardinals scored 2 in the first, LA scored 2 in the fourth. After that, the bullpens took over. For the Cardinals, Ken Daly, Todd Worrell, and Jeff Lottie worked 5 2/3 scoreless innings to get them through the top of the 9th inning. And after Willie McGee popped out to lead off the bottom of the 9th, Jack Buck lamented the fact that the Cardinals had missed some opportunities.
Needham viewer is 6'5", 225. Big man from the North Country, Minnesota. First baseman and the third baseman guard the lines. Ozzie with 1 out. Took a ball just outside. Cardinals have left 10 men on, and they left a lot of men on early. Had a runner at third, nobody out in the first and didn't score. Second and third, 1 out in the second and didn't score. Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy. It's a home run, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2 and a home run by the Wizard.
That obviously is an iconic call. it'd go down in history as one of the greatest in Cardinal and baseball history. One of the great things about Jack Buck, and the Cardinals have won the game by the score of 3-2. He tells you what the score they won by is on a home run by the Wizard. With all the excitement, Smith corks one into right down the line, right? You can see it in your mind's eye exactly what's happening. Then you get the description of what's happening in the game. The Cardinals have won the game 3-2 on a home run by the Wizard. And then what you should do, go crazy.
Yeah, that is the best call in baseball history. In my mind, it really is. Not only am I a huge Jack Buck fan, and I listened to tapes for years. I had multiple broadcasts on CDs, but that call right there, I could give you every single word to, and that's just, you mentioned it. He's calling that game for radio. It's Clark, Clark's one down, or Clark hits one down the line? Clubs one? Maybe I can't give you every word. But he says it may go. So now I'm thinking in my head, if I'm listening to this on the radio.
Smith corks one.
Smith.
Right down.
Yeah, there it is. Smith, Clark.
Corks it right down the line.
Corks. Okay, see, again. I'm not a perfectionist, so I'm just going to move on from this. But Jack Buck's call there is one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic in most baseball minds.
I was in the upper deck in right field, and Mariano Duncan's trying to make a play. And I'm thinking that it went off the wall. I didn't know it went off the pillar because the ball bounced back in, and then you see the umpire doing it. And we were getting ready for extra innings. I think I've told this before. And we had leftover sub sandwiches on our laps. We get up and jump, and there was lettuce and tomato and turkey all over all the people in front of us. It was great.
For everybody out there, keep bringing sandwiches into the ballpark. That's how you'll save money when you go visit Cardinals and visit the Cardinals.
Yeah, that morning I was driving downtown. I think I had to pick up tickets or something, had to go to work or something. And I had a flat tire on my car on 40. It was raining. I had a flat tire on my car, so I had to change that. And I think we drove to the game on a spare tire.
Look at you. So you changed the tire yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think a lot of people can do that today. All right, I saved an absolute bomb for last, Randy. A favorite moment of yours, too, I know. And I think there's a story that comes with it. In 1998, I may have only been a year old, but I think I felt the roar of Busch Stadium from my parents' living room after this. That ball's still coming down. You can't convince me that the fan caught that out there in the top deck. That might be the longest home run I've ever watched back in my life. That was like 20 rows from leaving Busch Stadium.
It was unbelievable, and it was off of Billy Wagner, who's a little fella, about 5'8", and he just made the Hall of Fame in the last couple of years. And Billy Wagner tells a great story about this game. The Astros were staying at the Ballpark Hilton across the street from Busch Stadium, and he's in the elevator with his agent. They're going back up to their suite, and there's a woman, a Cardinal fan, in the elevator with them. And she said, I sure feel sorry for that little pitcher that allowed that home run to McGuire. And she had no idea that it was Billy Wagner.
That is awesome.
That was in the elevator with her. But it made him feel good that she was with him. Okay, yeah, you might have thought that we missed a couple. Well, we didn't miss all of them. How about an honorable mention or two? How about a walk-off wild pitch by the Cubs in 2011 down the stretch?
That gets by. Chambers will score, and the Cardinals win it. A wild Carlos Marmol here in the ninth, and they get 2 to win it.
Thank you, Carlos. Cardinals don't win the division, or don't go to the playoffs, don't win the 2 World Series in 2011 without that one. How about 2004?
Edmonds hit 42 home runs during the regular season. And we are going to Game 7 in the National League Championship Series.
Okay, and you're mad because you thought we forgot, but we didn't forget.
What did we forget about?
We didn't.
Freese hits it in the air to center. We will see you tomorrow night.
Yeah, but this is no Yachty flying out to left field.
We just had so many. We had to save the best for last.
Honorable mentions.
That will never go away. David Freese, who will be back with the Cardinals in camp in 2026. That's a great thing.
Looking forward to seeing him.
All right, that is the list. Hope you enjoyed it. Coming up, we're going to build a parlay. USA. That's a hint. Next in the fight. Let's build a parlay, shall we? And the USA and Canada meeting in women's hockey. The USA team is dominant, all right? They already beat Canada 5-0 in their first game against each other. They're a 2.5-point favorite, plus 114 to cover. I think I got to go there. I can't go with minus 500 on the money line.
Too long.
So, yeah, so I'm going to take the USA to cover and win by 3 or more again against Canada.
And you know what's really interesting is the over-under is 5.5 at only plus 105. And by even adding that and parlaying those two together would be pretty intriguing to me. So pay attention to that, because if the U.S. team wins by 3, you'd have to think that this game is getting to 6 total goals.
You'd think so.
You'd think Canada's at least going to score 1 or 2.
Right.
Well, they'd have to score 2 in this case.
It'll be 5-2 at least.
Yeah, I think so too. So I'd take that over. But I'm not going there because I want to go to the college basketball slate, Randy, and I want people to scroll all the way down on their DraftKings Sportsbook page.
Nebraska?
No. Although Nebraska did find a way to fall again against Iowa.
Yeah,
can't really have that.
Oh, look at this game.
This one, 1 versus 3. Duke at home against Michigan, the best team in all of college basketball. But
second best.
You cannot
SLU
go.
still exists.
SLU, you're right. You are absolutely right. 1A, 1B.
Okay,
right?
thank you.
Duke, plus 136 at home.
Oh,
136 at home.
Oh, man.
If you're going to Cameron Indoor, I don't care if you're the number 1 team in the country.
I agree.
We've seen Arizona lose on the road already this season as the number 1 team in the country. This is a hard team to beat on their home floor, so I'm giving it to Duke at plus odds.
Yeah, crazy things happen at Cameron, and then you know what they call it? Cameron.
The Cameron Crazies.
There you go.
All right, so we're going to put $100 on this play
do
here, and then you will get paid out $405. Pretty easy math. Just move the decimal point.
There you go. That's our parlay, and we will give results in our next show. Coming up, though, we have Take It or Leave It, story time with Uncle Randy, and this date in sports history. Stick around. All right, time now for Take It or Leave It, and we've got a little bit of a photo for you here. This happened after Italy won gold and the U.S. won silver in the team pursuit speed skating competition. The Steph Curry Night celebration
99.
performed by Italy. So take it or leave it. If the U.S. is going to do it in basketball, we should have no problem with Italy doing it in speed skating.
I think we should have no problem with anybody doing it. It doesn't, as long as you win.
Once we do it, right? Yeah.
I mean, you started it.
And actually, it's an homage to Steph and the USA basketball team.
It's kind of like, and I know this is going to bring up bad memories for some, but remember the You Can't See Me, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese thing? Like, you open the door, and that's good. Right, it's good. I don't think the chasing down element was good. It's not like they 90-nighted and just kept tracking U.S. in this case. But, yeah, I think absolutely. If you open it up, you open up that can of worms, anybody can do it.
Although I don't think the Italian speed skaters are as dominant as the men's U.S. basketball
I can't imagine
team.
they are. Yeah. All right, mine for you, Randy, is this. So a Swedish fan tweeted yesterday regarding the medal count between U.S. and Europe. And they said, it's insane how Europe absolutely smashing the U.S. in the Olympic medal competition. Shocker, a continent of 50 countries is outpacing one country here. Education at its finest out in Europe, I guess. Take it or leave it, though, Randy. Let's set this up. If Europe fielded only one team of their best, like the U.S. does, they'd still lose in hockey.
So this is the Ryder Cup of hockey.
Correct. You get every country. You get the Leon Draisaitl's, you get the Dalibor Dvorskys, but they have to face the U.S. team.
The U.S. would still beat them.
I think so, too.
Yeah,
I
there's no
really
doubt about
do.
It. In fact, Brady and Matthew would beat them by themselves. St. Louis
I don't know about
would
that.
beat Europe. And let's give them Clayton Keller, and let's do Joseph Mall. And St. Louis would beat Europe.
Yeah, you know what? I'm all for. I'm pro-U.S. in this case, but I still don't think the best of the Europeans could beat the best of the U.S.
Yeah, and there are 450 countries in Europe?
Yeah, at least. I'll take the over.
All right, time now for story time with Uncle Randy. Andrew's going to spin the wheel. Sorry, I had to do it, didn't I? And we're going to spin the wheel for a decade and a sport, and I'll give you a little story.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't be
we're
sorry.
We're going old school again.
Maybe we're on the brink of 2010.
Yeah,
wow,
old school.
Okay.
This is childhood, Randy. Okay, hopefully it's something that I can give you something compelling
I'm sure
about.
it is. Okay.
We're going 1970s hoops. Okay, 1970s basketball. You know what was fun when I was a kid? We had the Spirits of St. Louis here in St. Louis playing in the ABA, and we had a player named Marvin Barnes. His nickname was Bad News. And there's a great book, by the way, about Marvin Barnes. Maybe don't have the kids read it, but it is a great book. Okay. Anyway, the ABA team that was dominant was the New York Nets, featuring Dr. J, Julius Erving. And 1 year of the 3 years that the Spirits played, they played the Nets in the playoffs, and we had a little guard named Freddie Lewis who just could not miss. And Freddie went crazy in the series, and the Spirits actually beat Dr. J and the Nets in a playoff and advanced to the finals. We were all thinking as little kids, oh man, the Spirits are really, really good. Well, no, as it turns out, they just kind of had a flukish victory. Marvin Barnes was an elite player. He would have been a top 10 player in the NBA. But the rest of the team at that point wasn't great, but it was a really cool experience to have a pro basketball team in St. Louis that beat the best team in the league. And when that team left, okay, they traded Maurice Lucas. And here we are, we're looking a little at the Spirits and the Nets. But they traded Maurice Lucas, but they had Caldwell Jones, they had Moses Malone at the end, they had Movin' Marvin, they had Freddie Lewis, they had Don Boosie, they had Gus Gerard. That's a franchise that if they would have stayed in the NBA, if they would have been brought into the NBA, they would have won an NBA championship.
You think so?
Oh, they were that good. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
All right.
And unfortunately, 4 teams went to the NBA. This was the 5th team. San Antonio, Indiana, the Pacers. There were 2 other teams that the Nets were one of them that went to the NBA. And the Silna brothers wound up getting $10 million a year, almost $1 billion for agreeing to not go to the NBA.
Oh, well, let's bring the NBA back now.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right, time for this date in sports history. And I did not even remember this, but I looked it up and it did happen. 2011, Jim Edmonds announces his retirement for the 2nd time 2 weeks after signing a minor league contract with the Cardinals because of an Achilles tendon injury he sustained while trotting out this home run on September 21st in what would be his last at-bat of his career. September 21st of 2010, he tears the Achilles running the bases for a home run. He had first retired after 2008, then came back that last year to play with Milwaukee and then Cincinnati, where he hit 276, 11 homers, 23 RBIs, signed with the Cardinals, but couldn't overcome the injury and wound up retiring on this date in 2011, so he missed the World Series run.
Oh, man. What a bummer that is.
Yeah.
Also, trotting out anything on an Achilles injury must be terrible.
Oh, man, can you imagine?
I mean, I remember when Waino tore his running out of the box, and he just stopped, right?
Yeah, right.
He stopped moving. The fact that Edmonds kept running around the bases to score, because in baseball, you have to cross home plate for that to count. Yeah. The fact that he toughed that out, good for him.
By the way, pretty remarkable that it's been 15 years since Jim Edmonds retired from Major League Baseball. And it is a crime that 5 years after he retired, he didn't get the requisite 5% to be on the Hall of Fame ballot for multiple years, because we talked about it when Andrew Jones went into the Hall of Fame earlier this year. If Andrew Jones is in there and Beltran, then you got to consider Jim Edmonds. He's got to get more than 5%.
Yeah, at some point in time. At some point in time.
Speaking of Jimmy Baseball, Cardinal Baseball here on Matrix Midwest next Monday at noon against Florida. And we are on every day here on Matrix Midwest and the Matrix Midwest app, 5 p.m., 10 p.m., and then again at 7 the next morning. Don't forget, if you want to participate in the fight like we had earlier today, log on to matrixmidwest.com, use the Carricker and Company drop down and fill in the form, and we will call you and record it about noon on Tuesday. Thanks to you, sir.
Hey, great job by you.
Thanks to our great director, Tyler Klaus. I'm Randy Carricker, and we will see you next time here in The Fight.